The first king. Every good investigation starts the same way. A desk too cluttered, a microphone too old, and a detective who's pretty sure he's already solved it. Tonight's case? The first king. Somebody, somewhere, decided they were in charge and everybody else just went along with it. That's not just a mystery, that's a crime scene. Suspect number one. The theory, historically speaking, isn't complicated. Somebody was bigger, meaner, and had the biggest club in the tribe. So everyone else quietly agreed not to test that theory. Simple. Clean. Almost too clean. The first king. Here's the file. Thousands of years, zero paper trail, and about a dozen suspects who all had motive. This is the part of the show where I pretend I know what I'm doing. Let's start with suspect one. The strongest guy. Compelling, right? Big arms, bigger ego, minimal patience for democracy. Problem is, strongest guy in the room only gets you through Tuesday. Kingship had to survive Wednesday too. So I brought in an expert. Well, an empty chair, technically. But the empty chair has never lied to me, and that's more than I can say for most suspects. Suspect 2. The priest. Now we're getting somewhere. This guy didn't need the biggest club. He had something better. He had the gods on speed dial, or at least claimed to. Convenient how often the gods agreed with him. Here's my working theory, and stay with me. Power probably didn't start with one guy shouting, "I'm in charge now." It started small. Someone organizing the harvest, someone settling an argument, someone everyone just kept asking for favors. And favors, historically, are a gateway drug. Which brings us to suspect 3, the guy with the grain surplus. Unassuming, practical, absolutely lethal. Because once you control the food, you don't need to be strong and you don't need the gods. You just need everyone else to be hungry. Crown, spear, coins. Lay them all out and they tell the same story from 3 different angles. Force, faith, and food. All roads somehow lead to the same guy sitting a little higher than everyone else. And that's when it hits me. What if it wasn't one guy? What if the first king isn't a person? It's a pattern. Somebody always ends up on top and history just slaps a crown on whoever it happened to first. I asked the empty chair to comment. The empty chair, once again, had nothing to say. Frankly, the most honest suspect I've interviewed all episode. Strength connects to fear. Fear connects to obedience. Obedience connects to grain. Grain connects back to power. Look at that. It's not a suspect. It's a system. And systems don't confess. So here's where I land. Close and personal into this microphone. There was probably no single dramatic coronation. No one triumphant guy declaring himself king while a trumpet played. It was quieter than that. Slower. And a lot less flattering to whoever ended up wearing the crown. Case closed. Stamp it. Big red letters. Question mark included because I'm not that confident. Actually, hang on. If kingship really did just creep up on humanity a little bit at a time, why does every culture on Earth have its own dramatic legend about one guy who started it all? That's either a wild coincidence or everyone's been covering the same story. Look, I didn't solve it. Nobody solves the first king. You just get slightly better at asking the question. That's the takeaway tonight. Power doesn't usually arrive with a crown. It arrives quietly, and somebody adds the crown later to make the story sound better. Wait, hold on. Who put this photo up? I didn't pin this. Nobody on this show pinned this. Somebody else has been working this case. So, same time next episode, who's been leaving clues on my corkboard, and what do they know that I don't? What happens next episode?